broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, hey, welcome America. That's right. This is the Invent America show. I am the originator, not the duplicator. Please don't accept no substitution. The Cajun contractor, Michael King. I want to welcome all of you to the King's Broadcasting Network. This is the Invent America show. Like the inventor lady says, America invents. Y'all probably wondering where the inventor lady is. She's in Pittsburgh traveling right now. She's trying to get a good signal so she can join us. But hey, we got to keep everything rolling. This is live radio, so we got to keep it going. But I'm going to kind of help out like she always helps the Cajun contractor out, Micah King. And she's got a great show. So we sure hope you stay with us. We are streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. You can check us out. You can check the Invent America show out on our website. And don't forget, hour number 3, we're going to have the Made in America guy, Mr. Greg Owen. So, hey, this is Home Talk USA, Invent America, Made in America, because what can I say? Again, America invents. And now I'd like to welcome our first guest to the show. His name is Brian Paul. He has, several potential products that the inventor lady wanted to talk about. Mr. Brian, welcome to the show. How you doing, my buddy?
Doing well, Michael. Thank you for having me along.
Well, I just love when I interview you guys. Y'all are a unique breed. I mean, you guys like wake up in the night, grab a piece of paper, start writing things down, but a lot of things are going on. And I know the inventor lady speaks very highly of you guys. And but Brian, tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, and let's talk about some of your technologies and the challenges that you have had to try to get your product to market.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael. So Philadelphia is my adopted hometown, although I moved to New Hampshire about a half a lifetime ago to attend medical school at Dartmouth, and then transitioned into pathology. I trained as a pathologist for 3 years before seeing the light and becoming a psychiatrist. So I've been practicing as a community mental health psychiatrist in Franklin, New Hampshire for about 10 years or so now. I'm on the front lines of trauma, in other words, Michael, as you can imagine. And so my technologies are focused on helping folks with trauma and stressor-related disorders develop a different relationship, perhaps a better relationship with that fight or flight response that characterizes so much of trauma, stressor-related disorders. And to be perfectly frank, I think it's probably, at the end of the day, probably one of the more common diagnoses among all human beings, right? Just developing an awareness of that anxiety and stress that occurs regardless of whether there's trauma involved.
Yes. Wow. So now let's talk about the some of your technologies that you've developed that really, after I was doing some research, the little minimum research I did, because again, I was expecting, Rita to come on. She's more familiar. But at the end of the day, you're trying to do some life-changing stuff over there. And that's what I think you're developing your life to is to make something that's going to change the way we operate our lives. That's the best way to say it, I think,
Oh, yes, exactly. So one of the products I'm developing is leveraging a medication that's already been out on the market for years. It's a dirt cheap antihypertensive called guanfacine. Guanfacine is a medication we often use in children and adolescents with ADHD, but I've found resounding success with it in my clinic treating adults with trauma, stress, or related disorders, or just good old-fashioned anxiety, because what this medication does, it effectively pumps the brakes on that fight or flight response. And so I'm developing an app that folks can use alongside the medication to help develop this skill. The fancy term for it is interoception. Again, just developing a sense of kind of what's going on from the neck down, which, if we're not aware of it, sweeps us away, and hours can go by. We're locked into all the crap that's happened to us in the past, or all the stuff that we worry about might happen to us in the future, but we're never really in the present moment, which is where healing takes place.
Yeah, you know, and I tell you, October 12th, 1996, I understand what you're talking about. I was shot in a robbery, and I took 2 bullets in the back. And as a matter of fact, people don't know my story. I still have a bullet in me. I have one near my sternum. So the trauma, it was so funny because the exterior of my body could heal, but the interior of my body, it's a whole different complicated thing here. And it's because I have something in my body that don't belong in there.
That's right.
And your body's trying to adjust to what's in that foreign object is in there. And so I could tell you, I know what you're talking about, to have that internal, man, I'm not a medical professional, but I call it an internal combustion engine inside my body. And you know, it just wasn't popping on all the cylinders. But at the end of the day, your human body is so interior, so complicated machine. I'm gonna call it a machine.
Absolutely.
And it is a machine.
Yes.
And when your machine is popping on all cylinders, the body can be an amazing thing with amazing heating, healing elements. It's just you can't explain it. Man has been trying to explain this for, and they're never going to get it down. They're trying, but they're never going to get it down. What you're trying to do is assist it in that trauma to try to get your body operating as normal as possible, so it can, I guess, doctor, kind of compensate what it's missing. Am I getting this right? Kind of.
You nailed it. That's exactly.
Wow.
You all may be familiar with the work of Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. He's down in Boston. The Body Keeps the Score, best-selling.
Yeah.
And his premise is that in addition to storing memories upstairs, we store a lot of memory down below that we may not be able to access at any given time. And trauma informs the storage of that memory. It makes sense to me. I see it all the time in my clinic, and survivor of trauma myself. And thank you for sharing your story, Michael. That must have been a harrowing experience.
It was. Yeah. And I'm here through the grace of God and through the grace of his mercy. I'm still here talking to you. And every day I wake up with a bullet inside my chest. It's still there because the doctor said, it was so funny. It's because it's against my sternum palate. And he said, well, what do you want us to do? We didn't want to leave it because if we have to pop the sternum, it's open heart surgery is basically what it is. He says, no, we can leave it there. It's not going to affect you, what you're doing. It's just against the palate. It didn't break the bone. And I'm saying, leave it. He said, if you ever have open heart surgery, we have to cut you open, we'll just remove it. And I tell you, it was an adjustment of my life that I have to wake up every day knowing I have a bullet inside me.
Yes.
And that's the difference between life and death. But my body has been compensating for the last 40 years. This happened, October 11, 19, so you're talking 28 years ago. My body's still trying to compensate for this.
Yes.
It's got used to something in there. But at the end of the day, I could feel as I age, things are coming more harder now. And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, I was in bed the other night, and I can actually feel the path of the bullet. You understand? Now, my body told me the path of the bullet. I actually felt it coming in.
Absolutely.
And I was sleeping. My body was saying, this is how I traveled. I felt it, not the pain, but I felt like a route, like something was just passing through. That's my body telling you.
Exactly.
It's a body talking to you, and and
Yep.
I'm not nuts. I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I'm a medical miracle, but at the end of the day, it's guys like you that's trying to help people like me. And my body recognizing and sending this technology you're trying to do. Well, guy, we're gonna have to take a short break. Don't go nowhere. I do want to talk to you, but give us that website. How can we learn a little bit more about you?
Well, feel free to email me at this is all one string of letters, all lowercase, bthomaspaul@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions for folks.
Well, we got a break. We got another guest, another topic. I'm the Cajun Contractor. This is the Invent America Show. I'll be right back. Yeah. Welcome back. This is the Invent America Show. I am the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. This is Home Talk USA on the King's Broadcasting Network. You're probably wondering where the Inventor Lady is. She's out in Pittsburgh on the road trying to get in. She's having some technical issues, but hey, if you've been listening to our show for the past year, she has pinch hit for me many times, and it's so great to be here on her show, learning about her guests, her topics. So, but don't forget, this segment of the show is sponsored by, we have to have a sponsor, Impeccable Air, the leaders in home air ventilation. If you want to improve the quality of your air in your home, think Impeccable Air, impeccableair.com. It has never been easier, impeccableair.com. And now I'd like to welcome to the show, her name is Sarah Noet. Her product is Turbo Trowel. I want to learn a little bit about her. Miss Sarah, how you doing?
Hi, Michael. How are you?
It's amazing to talk to an inventor, an entrepreneur, a person that you have a tremendous story. I was reading some of it, your little history. Can you share that with us? A little bit about your background. I mean, you didn't wake up one day and said, oh, okay, I have a dream. And the dream I have, I'm going to invent the Turbo Trowel. What's your story on this? I mean, your life is taking a different direction here, I would think.
Oh my goodness. We never know what our paths are going to be. I've just been continuing to just honor what's come in front of me, and I think it's really cool actually. So I have 11 brothers and sisters, and my construction family, and the brother who's really close to me is a concrete finisher, and he determined a need for a better hand trowel. So we have invented and patented, and it will be on the market soon, the Turbo Trowel. And it's a power hand trowel that goes on a drill, just like any Makita or any Milwaukee type of a drill, and it's a drill bit. And I'm really excited. I've got Noah McNeely at Product Quick Start. He's my amazing prototype engineer with it, and it is designed to help people finish concrete jobs faster, smoother, and with less physical strain.
Well, I'll tell you, and Noah's going to be on our show, and I know he's in the blue room right now listening to you right now. But you know what? I need to tell you what he's doing, I'm going to be honest with you. Without Noah, a lot of these companies and technologies, Sarah, would never hit the market. Either number one, they would be out of money. Number two is they just wouldn't have the path. And Noah's going to explain his process, because he can actually take a company, an inventor, an entrepreneur like yourself, and walk you through this blueprint to realize, to get it to market. Because you know how much I've been doing this for 37 years. I've been doing this a long time, and Home Talk's going to become the longest running talk show in America coming up. I've been doing this a long time. I've been behind this microphone, and I've seen many technologies that could actually change our life and can never make it to market, or has made so many bad mistakes. Sarah, you've been blessed. You got a blueprint to get this trial to market, man. And where are you at in this right now? Where are we at in the stage of this right now?
Right. Yeah. So we are really close to getting what we think is hopefully going to be the last manufacturer MVP, right? Because, it takes longer than we think, and it takes more, the process is longer than one would think. And Michael, you're so right. Having somebody like Noah, who's just been down this path, he's always so just kind and easy to work with, and it's not easy being an inventor because everything costs way more. And there's a lot of the people around us that want to not believe as much in the idea as we do, and so don't really understand all of the commitment that goes involved. But we're really, really close. Hopefully we're going to market. I have a booth at the World of Concrete in January in Las Vegas. Super excited. I've got an amazing marketing guy now, and people already want to buy it. So we're just trying to get it finished and getting it to it. And so that's where we're at. Hopefully this summer we'll have it. Yeah.
Well, and I tell you, and I'm trying to boost your confidence here. And believe me, this is coming through experience. Let's face it. The shovel, 100 years patent. It's a shovel. A trowel is a trowel. A screwdriver, a hammer is a hammer. I mean, you're not inventing the wheel here. But what I'm trying to say is that you could take this technology and bring it into the 21st century, use today's AI, use today's what's involved to take something that's been there for 100 years and now bring it into today's technology to make it easier, be dual purpose, be multi-purpose. You understand?
And it's amazing if you don't mind too, because some of the technology that's involved with this drill bit, which is really cool, is because right now the concrete, it's a really dirty, toxic substance, and you're not supposed to get very close to it. You're supposed to wear gloves. A lot of people don't. It's really, you want to keep your hands and your body away from it. And so the beauty of this trowel is that it'll keep your body away from it. And
that's right.
it takes years to learn how to trowel concrete, and so this drill bit will make finishing concrete much easier, and so it's an automated version of it.
My grandfather was a mason, and
cool.
I could tell you at 7 years old I was mixing concrete to dye when dye first came out. And I need to tell you, the trowel is the reason why I went to school. Okay, because I tell you, that's hard work.
So have you seen the big power trowels then? Do you know the big? So mine is basically a big power trowel on a drill. So yes, so it does the same type of idea that the big huge power trowels do, except for, and it's the only only vertically patented wall power trowel as well. So I'm super excited that we're going to be able to power trowel the walls.
Time, money, efficiency. Man, good luck to you. We're definitely going to be watching you, and I'm going to definitely get you back on in the future. You got a beautiful smile. You got a beautiful, outlook of what's happening. Your company is bright. Hey, you're a $2 stock right now, and one day I'm going to invest that $2 stock into your company, and you might be Microsoft one day. But,
I'm calling you back, Michael.
Give me your website. Hurry up.
TurboTrowel.com. TurboTrowel.com.
All right, up against the clock, got to run. We're going to have Noah Neely, my buddy, will be up right here on the Invent America show, sitting in for the Inventor lady herself, Rita Crump. I'll be right back. Yay! is the Invent America Show. I am the Canadian contractor, Michael King, one half of the dynamic duo. You're probably wondering where the inventor lady is herself, Rita Crompton. She's driving around in Pittsburgh. I think she's lost somewhere. No, she can't get lost. She's just, look, at the end of the day, you have to have a Wi-Fi. You have to have superpower. And she's having some communication difficulties. It's one thing about technology that you can do the show on the road. And but we can get in. So I'm sitting in. I thank all of you for putting up with me, but nobody can do the Invent America Show like the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton. All right, my next guest is no stranger to Home Talk. And each week, you hear me talking about Noah Neely and Product Quick Start. And, you know, he has been specializing in meeting prototyping and manufacturing need for inventors. And you just actually heard an online testimony, a live testimony from the turbo trowel lady herself, Sarah Noet. So he's on the line right now, and we're getting a chance to talk with him and him giving an update what's going on. I know he has some, I don't say issues going on right now, but his, with AI and new technology, he's got to stay on top of the what's going on now. And I know he's implementing this into his manufacturing for inventors and trying to do the prototyping, which is so part of the blueprint to get your product from a thinking about it, writing it, patenting it, prototyping it, making it, manufacturing it, and selling it. So it is a process, but he's just like 1/5 or 1/6 of this process. But he's on the line right now. Product Quick Start man himself, Mr. Noah Neely. Mr. Noah, how you doing, my buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
So Noah, I tell you, you heard Miss Sarah, with turbo trowel. It's a common thing and that you hear from young, developers like yourself. So maybe you can walk us through how you guys get involved and how you can help. Because if I'm sitting to this show right now and I have that idea and I don't have a clue where to start, when do you come in? When would you like to come in?
All right.
And walk us down that path, Mr. Noah.
Sure. But first, let me say, you did say something in the previous interview that I got a chuckle out of. You said you didn't just dream this up one night, but you'd be surprised how many people I meet that say, hey, I had this dream and this product came to me in the middle of the night. So that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always great ideas, but it does happen. So what I try to be is a good player in this category. There's so many companies out there. You see them advertised on late night TV and whatnot. They're really there to kind of prey on inventors and to really make money off inventors rather than making money with inventors. So I try to do the opposite. And I come in at any stage. Some of my clients, they had the dream the night before and they call me up. Some of my clients, they built something in their garage, or I even have some clients that they've already got their invention on the market. They're already manufacturing it, but they've had a falling out with the factory, or the factory's not listening to them, or they want to do a better product or whatever it is. So I get involved and I help them. I'm all about making stuff. So I help them all the way through the process of that design, engineering, prototyping, and then that, coordinating everything with the factory to make sure they're going to get a good product at the end of the day.
Well, it's amazing you say that, because now I'm getting a clearer picture that you can jump in anytime in the process, depending what part stage of the process you're actually in.
Yeah, and I'm here to provide as much help or as little help as somebody needs. Sometimes people, they just need to come in and say, I'm working with this other engineer. He's doing these things. I'm not sure it's right. Can you audit this for me? That's fine. I can do that. I can spend a day doing that. I'll charge you for a day. Sometimes I find that the engineer's doing great, and I report them. Sometimes I find that he's way off base, and we have to make some corrections.
Well, and I think, and this is my opinion, okay? Because I don't have a product. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a developer. I'm not an inventor. But I will say this. But I do have common sense, and I was born with that. Thank God. And my common sense tells me as soon as I can get your company in the process, I actually believe the cheaper it's going to be for me because I don't think I'm going to make the mistakes. And when you make mistakes, it costs you money. It's simple. So if you can eliminate my mistakes, you're going to eliminate, the cost for me to get this product.
Yeah, I mean, I inherit a number of projects where people have spent a lot of money doing the wrong things, and frankly, they spent way more money before meeting me than they spend once they meet me. So sometimes you're exactly right. Sometimes going down the wrong path, and it's not necessarily you make mistakes. Sometimes you get bad advice, and even that bad advice can be well intentioned because Inventor John, he did something one way, and that worked great for him. But your product is totally different than John's product. So John gave you the advice he thought was great, but it wasn't right for you. And that's hard. I mean, how would you know until you talk to me or someone like me?
Well, it's one thing to prototype and come up with the technology itself, but it's another thing to develop, manufacture it at a cost per point where, because this is the success or failure of a lot of technology and products, because they simply can't manufacture it at a cost per point where the consumer is willing to pay for that technology. Does that make sense?
This is like Sarah's product, your previous guest, a big part of what we're doing for her, what I'm doing for her is helping her convert that design, that idea, not only into something that works, but something that can be manufactured at a price that she can mark up because, company has to make money and still sell to the end user, and everything still makes sense financially. That's not a product someone's going to pay $800 for.
No, you're right. Cost per point.
We've got to understand what that market looks like. Now, there are $800 products out there, and there's market for those for depending on what it is. But a lot of times, inventors they're trying to make something that's way more expensive than it should be, or they don't understand what drives the costs. So a lot of times the reality check I give them is just walking them through everything to help them understand, you got to buy molds, you're going to buy inventory, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And your invention is not great enough for a factory to work for you for free, So,
and another thing, you have access to other technologies and other maybe condiments to what we're talking about to send them down another road that maybe we need to go in this direction, but I have an expert in that direction. I can only take you so far, or maybe get a collaboration into the tech. It just depends on what we're talking about here. But I need to tell you, some of this technology can really be complex. You know what I mean? When it comes to when you're talking about AI, when you're talking about chips, when you're talking about electronics, when you're talking about a whole different field here.
I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I built up a pretty extensive network of people that are kind of like me, that we're senior people and experts in our field, but in other fields. So if somebody comes in, they've got an invention that's all software and AI and stuff, I'm not going to do that. Not what I do, but I know people that can, so I'm going to connect them and let them go. I'm not at a point, I'm at a point in my career where I don't need to be in the middle of everything. I don't want to be in the middle of everything. So I'm happy to just make the connections where they make sense.
Well, you can't, I'm putting my contractor's hat on, here it is. I put it on right now. But at the end of the day, I cannot build a house unless I build a solid foundation. And I think that all this boils down to is that product quick start is going to build you a good foundation on up. And until you have that good foundation, it's going to fail. It's going to break. It's going to fall. It's not going to work. Where do I stop? No, man, I tell you, it's so great to have you. I'm a fan. Give us that information. If I'm thinking about maybe getting a product to market, maybe I have that thought, that idea. How do I reach you, Noah?
Well, the best thing to do is go to the website, productquickstart.com. There's two things there that I would three things I draw your attention to. One, there's a contact us form just like everybody else. Please don't go there and just say, call me, because that doesn't give you any information to prep for your call.
Yeah.
There is, so give me more detail. There's also an NDA on the website that you can use to cover you for your protection.
Product quick
start.
There's
a self-assessment.
Product quick start got to run top of the hour. We're going to also have Greg Owens, the Made American guy. Stay tuned right here. Invent America Show. I'm the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Y'all come back now. You hear? Yay! Hey, welcome back to the Inventor America Show. This segment of the show is sponsored by Trim a Slab Deep to replace rotten or missing wood, often found in driveways and sidewalks. Install it incredibly fast, looks great, and can be removed. It's trimaslab.com. Also, don't forget we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at hometalkusa.com. Don't forget, at the top of the hour, we're going to have the new CEO, Matt Roberts, with Cheryl Manufacturing, a great U.S. company made in America. I'm so great to have Matt on the show, and Margaret's going to be on our show. Ingrid, we got a great. So just stay with us right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. And now I'd like to welcome the Made in America guy himself. He's kind of pitching in a little bit because the Inventor lady is caught in Pittsburgh right now. Her cell phone ain't working. So, Greg, Greg, welcome. Greg, the Inventor lady pitch-ins for us a lot. And so it's so great that we could pitch it for her. You know what I mean, Greg?
Glad to do it, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Today's show is amazing. 27th year. It's just exciting. Every week I get on here behind this mic and I meet these companies, and like we had this Brian Paul, this guy who's making difference in our medical lives. He's coming up with things, internal body combustion things. I know I see him laughing right now in the green room, but the point is, great guys, just making our lives better, and our lives are starting to get better now when we talk about the Made in America show. And I want to talk about the Made in America show because I need to tell my audience, and we're going to be posting these numbers. We finally got some numbers in your show, and they're really blowing my mind and what's going on and how the show is really resonating across America. Because like the Inventor lady says herself, America's starting to invent while America's starting to make American products. Factories are starting to open up. And I think the legality that we've been talking about in the past with the tariffs and what's going on in Washington. And man, you've been a tremendous reporter, like being the guy behind the scenes. And, I think Fox needs to hire you because I think you get in there and you get underneath you're pulling back the onion peeling. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do is get that onion peeling back. So Made in America, top of the hour. So what's going on? Any updates you're going to talk about in your show? And I know, again, we're going to have Mr. Matt Roberts, who's going to be on the show, the new CEO of Cheryl Manufacturing, and to talk about what's going on and the direction they're going. But anything new you want to share with us?
Well, I would just reiterate what you said. Our motto sort of on the Made in America Hour is separating the politics from the policy. And we try and focus on the policy. And the outer layer of that onion, which is what you see on TV, is just a bunch of political theater. It has really nothing to do with what's actually going down in D.C. So what I try and do is bring to light things that aren't partisan politics playing out on television and radio and talk about the substantive issues, which are the policy going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I hate to mention what I'm about to mention, but this has a point. And boy, you hit that nail on the head, and I'm going to make a point. I was watching Fox News just a little while ago before I came on the air about the hideous thing that's happening in Minnesota. What went on, with the politicians getting certain political politicians getting murdered. But the point I want to make with this is just my hearts go with these people. But here's the difference in getting out of the political spectrum, because when the U.S. attorney was announcing what was going on, he did not say this was a Democratic senator. This was a Democratic councilman. You know what he said? It was a senator. He didn't say Republican senator. He didn't say a Democratic senator. You understand what I'm getting at here? Somebody got murdered. Somebody got murdered. And you nailed it on the head. But I guarantee if it'd be on the other side, a Republican just killed a Democrat. We don't need this anymore.
It's like I said, that outer layer of the onion, which is covered in mud, gets people on the right and the left fired up. And every once in a while, somebody goes off the deep end and does something horrific like this. Hit kind of home. They caught the guy about 25 miles north of where I'm sitting. So it's just, I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, this stuff should never happen. And unfortunately, the media is a conspirator in this, really, by firing people up and politicizing everything and making extremists. And unfortunately, it went way too far this time.
Yeah, and that's the point I wanted to mention, and that I want to bring this is a show for another topic for another day. But the point is, you just made that thing, is that why can't we, put it to the point where, okay, we all agree that companies have to have less regulation. We all agree that the American manufacturer need to be on an even playing field. We all agree on these things that's going to make manufacturing again, bringing jobs and infrastructure together. But it's got to start from getting, like you said, getting the politics and finding companies. I'm going to use Liberty Tabletop and Sherman Manufacturers as an example, because I do have a relationship. I understand the company structure, thanks through you. But I understand is they have their challenges. But why can't the media help them with their challenges, but not hurt them? Because, well, why are you going to buy American when we could just go get it from China? I'm just trying to say it just doesn't make sense to me. And
well, thankfully, there's a lot of Americans who really do want to buy American, and that's what keeps.
That's the point. There you go, and there you send it. Well, Greg, I tell you, a lot going on. You're going to hold on with us. We're going to jump into the Made America. We're going to talk to Mr. Matt Roberts and Margaret Ingram. What's going on over there, and I know they're really in the front of all this, and we want to see what we can do and the power of this show to help, regulation or whatever we can do, and because America is positive when we can make product again in the United States. All right, we're gonna have to go. Don't stay tuned to us right here. This is the Cajun Contractor Michael King for Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady. We're gonna jump right into. Stay with us right here with Greg and on the Made in America show. We'll be right back. Y'all come back now. You hear?